You don't want a biblical marriage or a biblical family. Can we just stop using that terminology altogether? Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. Let's start with marriage. Remember, marriage is something that is defined by a culture. And in that culture, it was incredibly patriarchal and even misogynistic at times. Women were treated as property. In many ways, they were bought by their husbands. Intimacy between the husband and the wife was not something that was supposed to be mutual. It was something that an active agent did to a passive object. And men ruled the day in really every way. And in regards to that relationship, we're not accountable to have the best interest of their spouse in mind, or to have an expectation of faithfulness and what that meant being defined between the two partners. And family and parenting, no. Right? There is all sorts of laws and rules and regulations that you can find in the Bible that is, it can only be described as abusive, like authorized abuse. And the examples of families in the Bible is awful. It's all kinds of dysfunction. There is the story of how Abraham had his wife on 2 occasions pretend she wasn't his wife and go and live with a local ruler. There is the sibling rivalry that is around Joseph, where his brothers eventually fake his death and sell him into slavery. And what about inheritance? Who was basically the executor of the estate? It wasn't the person that was qualified or had a life that sort of gave them the abilities to do that. No, a double portion of the inheritance just went by default to the oldest living male. And that person was sort of the caretaker of the family legacy. But these are all cultural values. These are all cultural processes that are defined by a culture that is thousands of years old. So we don't take those cultural values and map them one for one onto today and try to live like they did thousands of years ago. Instead, we can use all of the insights from all of these things that we've gained as a species over the last several thousand years and have a much more healthy life and lifestyle. And we can just allow the Bible to do what it does best, which is not giving you exactly how to have a marriage or how to raise your kids or how to have a family in general.